have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity.
We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy.
Silence! The great and powerful Oz knows why you have come.
You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it! My life has value.
You have meddled with the primal forces of nature.
Don't give yourselves to brutes. Men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts.
And now, Reality Rants with Jason Bermas.
And who loves you? And who do you love?
Good morning. Good morning. It is Reality Rants with Jason Bermas. Red Voice Media in the house. I hope everybody had an amazing weekend. I had a really great weekend. Actually spent it with Kriston T. Harris of the Rundown Live, who I've come across numerous times over the years at various events when you're covering protests. He was at D.C. in December of 2020 when I was there, January 6th also there. So we've known each other in that regard for a long time. Hit me up because he was coming back through the Midwest over to Wisconsin. I said, dude, come on by. It's just me in the house. The sister and the nieces live down the block. I'm going to be watching fights all weekend. That's usually what I do, guys. So, you know, when I'm not doing videos, when I'm decompressing, it is MMA. That's what we're watching. We're watching it constantly. It's the good times. Actually, amazing UFC fight night this week. Really great stuff. But while he was here, he had mentioned something, I think, where we were talking about different shows, and I mentioned Inside Job on Netflix, and he's like, dude, season 2 just came out this week. I was like, oh, well, that's something I want to watch. So I've covered the show in the past. I'll probably give a brief rundown for everybody that hasn't seen it and doesn't know about it. I do think it's worth your time. Also, you know, earlier in the year, I did the video on the Pentaveret, another Netflix show, only that was live action and with Michael Myers. I thought it was actually the funniest thing Michael Myers has done since the Austin Powers series. But stream it or skip it, Inside Job Part 2 on Netflix, where Reagan Ridley contends with her crazy father being in charge of Cognito Inc. So what is this show? Why should you care? Well, first of all, I think it's really important because it shows how questioning authority, the idea of a shadow government, the historical nature of secret societies, and alternative history is, yeah, it's represented and it's poked fun at, but it shows you how much it's pierced into the popular culture. And season 1, episode 1, gets into the Bohemian Grove, because the Bohemian Grove is just totally common knowledge now. And that's where the vast majority of that storyline goes. Now, if you watch the first season, now I'm going to give you some spoilers, everybody. Sorry, it's not going to really ruin it for you, because it's a show about relationships and not so much this overarching conspiracy. That's the background of the show. All these shows are really about human relationships, and in this case, family, right? But I mean, for instance, when you watch just, you can either watch the preview or the opening credits, the opening credits, they drop Kubrick, the moon landing, obviously Illuminati symbolism throughout. That's all there, okay? And in the end of the first season, there is this kind of poignant moment where I was actually happy with where they took it. And it was essentially, you'd gone through this whole season, and it was the last episode, and they were going to reveal to you finally the truth about 9/11. And then they censored it out. They censored whatever truth they were going to tell you about 9/11. That was the joke, I guess. But that joke was something where they were like, well, some things are just too horrible to show anybody. We just can't. That's something just too much. Now, I obviously disagree with that because I'm an adult. So there's another profound moment during the season, which we're going to get into after the Alex Jones rip. And it's a hard one, okay? It's a very, very hard one. Like, over on InfoWars, they've been playing, especially recently, this clip of, like, the Reptoids and this speech that's actually from the show from season 1. And in this one, we'll just talk about the Alex Jones part. You have the main character, okay, Ridley, who we're talking about, Reagan Ridley, who's the daughter of Rand Ridley. And I think that certainly the Rand comment is in conjunction with the Rand Corporation. There's a lot of, very smart, in-the-know types of things in this, and we'll get to why in a moment. But all of a sudden, Alex Jones is at the Bohemian Grove. He's snuck into the Bohemian Grove. It's the older Alex Jones. It's not the younger Alex Jones that actually did it. It's the now Alex Jones. And immediately, to their credit, they call him out by name. Alex Jones. And obviously with a show with this type of content, I don't see why there wouldn't be any reason why. Especially given a nod to the guy. But if you've seen Jones's representations in mainstream media over the last decade plus, though, they usually don't even like to talk to him, or they skew it, or they make him a completely different kind of character. Like the Alex Jones type character in X-Files, like Joel McHale. Skinny, good looking. No offense, Alex. I'm just saying he's not losing his hair and got the beard and, that type of thing. And when they want to make fun of him, they make him into it like a caricature of himself, just like Michael Myers did, right? When he was going to a parody of InfoWars, and it was the red hat, and it was boner pills, and, but he doesn't call it Alex Jones. They do. They call it Alex Jones. They took a couple hard swipes at Alex. Of course, it's school shooting denier. And now, I wonder to myself, someone who's never questioned the deaths of the children, ever, not once, but does have questions about Lanza, his medications, whether or not there were accomplices. I've done a whole Shady Hook video on there that I think is important. Even when you look at what happened down in Florida, right? And the drills they were running, the code reds, those type of questions. Is it okay? Am I now a denier for questioning that? That upset me. And then they really took a swipe at his divorce with his wife and something about child support. And I mean, they threw in a kind of a funny joke at the very, very end before the credits where they've got a naked Alex Jones on fire at the Bohemian Grove while all these different sects of the different secret societies and organizations that rule the world. Because the funny thing about one of the jokes is that Cognito Inc., which we talk about, isn't all powerful. The Illuminati is a rival. The Vatican is a rival. The Reptoids are rivals. There's a couple other ones. There's the Dagon fish people as well. So, yeah, it's a clever show. I'm recommending it 100%. Does it take a couple swipes? Sure, but it's a clever show. Hit Jones pretty hard in that regard. So he's loving Hillary Clinton, naked, running around Bohemian Grove on fire. So I guess he's doing his best Henry Kissinger impersonation. That must be it. I want to talk about, however, the revelation in the show that, again, last episode, okay, towards the end, just almost kind of a throwaway line joke that I think is important about the show. So when you look at the council that supposedly runs everything, they call them the robes. And you don't even know if the robes are human or what's going on. They have the robes. They have the inverted triangle heads. It's kind of like a masked identity. You're not really sure what's under the robe. Anything's possible. Bum, bum, bum. Are they interdimensional lizard demons from the fourth dimension? I don't know. I don't know, folks. Fourth dimension's time. Maybe it's the fifth dimension. I don't know. I'm playing around a little bit, but they're talking to the main character, okay? And they're explaining that they're a benevolent secret society. And they're also kind of like pushing this social Darwinist idea that in the very beginning of time or man, there was always these people that were smarter than everybody else and kind of had to look out for the rest of humanity, right? The benevolent dictator complex, the God complex, really the eugenicist complex that we're seeing now. That's moving into transhumanism. And really that's going to be the bulk and feature of the show. Is I have a UN and New York State education piece from 1973 with people from the realm of cybernetics, which is transhumanism, the Club of Rome, which is Malthusian population control, with this video called The Limits of Growth, United Nations television. Okay? Limits of Growth. And that's going to be the main part of the watch along. I'm not sure if we're going to get all the way through it, but I think we're going to start it in the second hour, the premium portion of the broadcast, redvoicemedia.com/Jason to sign up for $1 today for that first week, and that's $10 a month. Or lock it in, redvoicemedia.com/Jason. Lock in a year for $100. Directly supports me, supports the broadcast. Everybody's smiling. Everybody's happy. Everybody be smiling. So, to get back quick and wrap it up with this show, they reveal that the Black Plague was there because overpopulation was happening even then. Oh! And doesn't that reveal this mindset? That's why I play portions of Shade the Motion Picture where Tarpley talks about this kind of inborn feature of oligarchs, regardless of their belief system, their ethnic background, religious background. Once they hit a certain point of power, it's built into the oligarch that there are too many people to manage. And it would be better, okay, not to provide them with more resources and allow them to come up and to compete with you, because then again, your power could fade or go away entirely. Why do you want the competition? So in that sense, they are overpopulated to them because they don't like managing them, because they believe that they're the best. They're number one. They get to direct humanity. They get to direct evolution. That's what the Club of Rome is. It's the idea that humanity is actually the enemy of Earth. And when you see like the beginning of this thing, they're dun dun, they're playing like the classical music and they're showing you all these horrific things. Think about how parallel that is to the same propaganda they're giving you in this "We Need a Great Reset" or Imperative 21, the same shit. Same shit, different decade, same message. But now they're the authoritative source. Now they're in collusion with big tech, which isn't the government, right? But government's in collusion with them, the United Nations, the World Health Organization. Open collusion. It's right there in front of your face. Okay? So I got a ton of different videos kind of taking you along that lines, telling you what they wanted to keep from the pandemic for the future. And that's the thing, man. You want to make fun of Alex Jones. You want to dig at Alex Jones. These people damn well know what's going on. They know that the agenda really is to depopulate and transmutate. And so kind of brings us back to the origins of the show. It's by, I think that Alex Hirsch is one of the executive producers, and Hirsch is behind Gravity Falls. Gravity Falls, kid show, actually really smart, really good. So good, in fact, that the Rick and Morty guys liked it so much that they put their universe in their universe. So there's a couple throwbacks where items from Gravity Falls have made its way into Rick and Morty. Okay? So there's a chance that this show is also in the Rick and Morty verse in the larger sense, right? You got to get through all the licensing stuff, but they throw in little nods or whatever. Okay, so I got a bunch of different videos. I've also got a video called I Pet Goat 2 in the spirit of we're talking about animation, and this is by a gentleman named Heliofont, which I just think is a fantastic piece of artwork, first of all. Talk about symbolism, wow. And it shows, to me anyway, kind of where we're at in this video here, how this type of knowledge has been permeating the culture more and more and more and more and more, and it's gotten so mainstream that now these people have to show their cards and start saying that democracy is going to die if we don't regulate your speech. If you don't let us just say who won and not let you audit elections anymore, we don't have one person, one vote. You're a bigot. You're a racist. Okay? You're trying not to let other people have their voice heard. Total bullshit. It's the inversion of reality. Let's hit some of these stories. Then we're going to hit some of these videos. Then we're going to do the Limits to Growth United Nations watch along. Let's thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. Okay. So I wanted to hit this story. I think it's important. Talk about hypocrisy, about freedom of speech. Sacha Baron Cohen goes after Kanye West and Donald Trump in searing attack during Kennedy Center honors, where Paul Pelosi, dressed like a Gotham gangster, by the way, everybody, makes his first public appearance to celebrate George Clooney, U2, and Gladys Knight. And there he is. I mean, we live in a cartoon. So he's got a glove on, a hat. We still don't really know what happened with the incident. We know that the person who hit him with the hammer has been charged. Apparently, whatever injuries he's had were not serious enough to keep him from the Hollywood Gala with folks like Joe Biden and Sacha Baron Cohen. Somebody who, again, has called for massive censorship. Massive censorship. And to bring it back to Alex Jones, he had Alex Jones in the opening credits of his show, Who is America? And actually, I really liked Who is America. I could not get through Borat 2. I thought Borat 2 was hard to watch. Had like these animated sequences. Got through maybe like 25 minutes of it. I was like, what is it? And I've watched everything else he's done. Even like the dictator one, which is, fully like a Hollywood type movie and no gags or whatever. It's kind of piss poor. Watch that all the way through. And actually, that has a message of depopulation via a bioweapon release. The dictator. Interesting. But here you go. You have Cohen attacking Kanye West, Donald Trump, anti-Semitism, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So I haven't done a video or even really discussed what everybody on the internet was discussing. I could have gone live. I could have made a thumbnail with Kanye and his crazy mask. But really, guys, if you were listening to me in the days before that incident, that powder keg, if you will, you'll kind of know I haven't changed my position at all. At all. And I kind of called it. I didn't call that he was going on Jones. But everything I said when we were talking about Dave Chappelle and his monologue, it all still pertains. Okay? What do I mean by that? Well, you had like this 3-hour spectacle, right? I'm going to use the word spectacle. And that word is used heavily in regards to the film Nope, and Jordan Peele was talking about it, and just like this fascination with looking at, not being able to look away at certain things. So it runs a gamut. And I think that's really a appropriate term when we're talking about what happened on the Alex Jones show, what happened with Kanye West, his little Netanyahu net, what happened with Fuentes, the Hitler and Nazi commentary, all that stuff. Now, let me try to break down what I saw. I guess I didn't want to go there, but since we are going to go here and we're going to Sacha Baron Cohen, let's start here. I felt like, number one, Kanye did distract from and kind of obfuscate some obvious truths when he was being questioned about Balenciaga, and he reverted it over to Instagram and pornography addiction and basically a lot of other things I'll get to in a moment. But my thing is, why are we more concerned when Sacha Baron Cohen says he turned over disturbing footage of Who's America to the FBI, and then the FBI runs an investigation and nothing to see here? Nope. Nothing to see here. What? What do you mean? So, for those that don't know the story, he was another persona. He's in Vegas, and he's trying to curate young boys for somebody. And the concierge, because this is how it really works, gives him a name of somebody he can contact. He says he doesn't take care of that specifically. He gets requests. This is who he goes through. Because that's a reality. And high rollers do that from all across the world, not just this country. And it's disturbing, and there's a market for it. Okay, and that's upsetting to me. Bringing it back to Kanye, and look, did he make some good points regarding Instagram? Great. Okay, he's a smart guy, but I think he is in a lot of ways having a mental breakdown, guys. You're watching it in real time. Okay, I'm no fan of the Nazis. I often talk about that model being a very bad model, and that the absorption of the Nazis and the divvying them up post-World War II exacerbated a situation where eugenics was accepted underground. All right? Where you took the compartmentalization that you learned through your Manhattan Project in this country, and then you were like, wow, look at all these toys the Nazis have underground when it comes to, biomedical testing facilities that are masquerading as like DuPont chemical factories. Right? So that model's bad. Hitler's a bad guy. But those that supported Hitler, both through financial means and what promoting through the media to empower him in the government, that's bad. Bad. Now, look, I'm not holier than thou. And I don't sit here and tell you what religion to believe. I don't espouse myself as a Christian. And I understand the Christian ethos really is to love everybody. So in that regards, great. But I certainly don't love those models. Okay? And I think it's bad. Can we have the conversation? Yeah, we can have the conversation about anything. But, for instance, he's sitting there swinging the net in the mask, calling it Netanyahu. He doesn't know the first thing about Netanyahu or his policies or who his buddies have been or the last political cycle where he lost and somehow now he's back in power. I barely understand the workings there. Kanye West understands it a lot less. A lot less. And I like to call out the individuals working within established groups and circles that are much smaller than a broad religious or ethnic group, right? What do I mean by that? Well, when you, like I said, we're going to play this United Nations clip. I can point to the United Nations. I can point to the New York State education system that showed it. I can point to the people that they interview that have Club of Rome underneath and say, hey, Club of Rome, not great, eugenicists. Those are the type of things that you talk about. And you've actually got to educate yourself on them. You can't just come gun on the hip, blazing, bop, 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 right? Not if you're going to get on a large stage. And that guy probably has one of the largest stages in the world right now. Not in the country, in the world. So, if you've seen my previous videos on Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, and where all that's going, I think there's a lot going on there. A lot going on there, period. There's a big ego there on top of it because of all of the success. How could you not have one with that kind of success? All right, I want to move on to this story, and that'll probably bring us to our first video of the day. All right, and Annie Jacobson nailing it all the time. When we're talking Operation Paperclip, when we're talking DARPA that comes out of it and where we are today, when we're talking about Area 51, black sites, NASA, the whole nine, Annie Jacobson, Annie Jacobson, Annie Jacobson. One could argue the bigger picture reason is drone swarm warfare, that the carbon neutral pitch is the cover story. This is a small now this, okay? This whole carbon neutral, I keep telling you, there is no zero emissions. There is no carbon neutral. You're the enemy. You're the carbon they hate. You're the enemy. You're the carbon they hate. Dog-like robots designed by Boston Dynamics and Hyundai Motors were seen dancing outside a World Cup match. According to Hyundai, the robots were on display as part of the Goal of the Century campaign, which seeks to transition the company into a carbon-neutral entity by 2045. Yeah, that is a cover story. It's to acclimate us to death robots. Look. I mean, I don't want to play the music because we'll get in trouble, but isn't that nice? Yeah, we got dancing robots. And they got little heads, make them look like dinosaurs in some instances. Dancing robots. Yeah, yeah, carbon neutral 2045. You'll be enslaved by then. Carbon system to your social credit score. Dancing. And we'll have all sorts of weapons on dogs that are way more developed than that. Way more developed than that. And I guess we'll go to this clip I've got. Where is it? Where are you? Here it is. Hyundai. There's Hyundai again. Partnering with Boston Dynamics. Welcome to the family with BTS. Yeah, the Korean boy band. The K-pop kids. Talk about Jason Bermas losing it. Listen, I was never hip or with it, guys. But this doesn't make me want to be hipper with it at all. So here we go. See, it's hilarious. It's a comedy routine. It's a buddy comedy between the toy remote car and the Boston Dynamics Deathbot. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, guys. See, driverless cars, they sneak a lot of things in here because that's the agenda. Hyundai, partnering with Boston Dynamics, commercializing robots as if they're pets, but also letting you know driverless cars are going to be a thing. Automation, automated vehicle, robots are the future. I love me a robot dog. How cute is that thing? I can't wait to get one. Yay! So there's the Hyundai port. They opted without the dragon head.
안녕하세요.
Oh,
반갑습니다.
K-pop! Yeah!
잠깐 쉬었다 갈게요.
I mean, look, I get it. Young kids like different things. There was a time when I was a young lad, like 8 years old, and New Kids on the Block were the biggest thing, and all of a sudden I was hearing, oh, 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 and there was playing cards. But I mean, this for God's sakes, and they're promoting robots. Come on.
야, 이름 써있네. 스팟.
스파 앉아.
Oh, we're in a push-up contest with a robot. Let me tell you who's going to win. The robot. If you get in a push-up contest with a robot, I don't care if you hold the damn world record. They're going to charge that bad boy up. And at some point, you as a human being are going to get tired. The robot is not. The battery may be depleting, but even now, that battery is going to beat your ass. A push-up contest with a robot.
오, 야, 뛰어. 오, 야,
Let's get it.
리듬감이 좋은 친구네.
dance moves. Yeah,
너
K-pop.
춤 아는 거 있어? 한번 보여줘.
Like, you know, let me just bring it back to Fun Boy over here. Not these two Fun Boys. Gray-haired Fun Boy. So you might not be able to see it right there as much, but you kind of see it. A little salt and pepper in there. I always thought, as a young man, okay, that it was going to be the coolest thing in the world to have gray hair. My grandpa, like, he had his hair till he was gone. God bless him, into his early 80s. Mostly white hair. Now that it's here, now that we're on the salt and pepper sides, and you know, when I don't put something in my hair, people ask me if I dye my hair or don't dye my hair. Sometimes I put a little gel or product in it. You can tell. I hate it. I certainly don't know. I don't get that look. You know, especially with the earrings and the makeup. First of all, Jason Bermas doesn't get the male makeup look. And maybe it's the dark circles under the eyes. Maybe you can tell. You know, sometimes I don't get the most sleep, or the lighting isn't just quite right. Right? I don't look as rested. We got the more high definition camera. Now we got the 4K. It almost looks like a DSLR. Really gets in there. But these people that they're selling you on, I mean, it's like they're the softest, most non-binary, fluid gender representations of this next level transhumanist nightmare. Okay, where's the punk rock? I see there's the one like half blue haired kid, but it's the gray haired, older looking, kind of in lipstick and a makeup kid. Okay, I'm done with my my boomer rant. Okay, let's do it. Let's get back to it.
아는 거 있어? 한번 보여줘.
Oh! You know what? I know I'll get a copyright strike for that. So we're gonna turn that down. We'll just watch everybody having a good time. No, now the dancing's on. It's robot dance time. Oh! Can you believe it? Yeah. Let's do it together. Oh, can we double it down? And now it's the other Boston Dynamic robot. Yay! Oh, but it's really just a screen on that robot. There's all sorts of robots for everybody. Let's dance about it. Oh, Boston Dynamics. A front for the military-industrial complex for so long. Now we got the heads on the robots, see? It's a whole number. Hyundai. This is the green future. This is it. You're watching it. The green future's now, guys. It's a bunch of robots dancing with Asians wearing makeup. Let me repeat that. It's a bunch of robots dancing with Asians wearing makeup. The future is now. Oh, and the future isn't human for a lot of reasons. Man, it just, which direction do we want to go with this? There's two right here. I got a couple videos. Number one, I talk about Grace, the robot that was instituted during the pandemic, really instituted before that. The fact that Grace is the cousin of Sophia and that it's going to possibly run on Cardano or another type of smart contract cryptocurrency. See, the regulated cryptocurrencies that they can bring into the system, the non-decentralized ones, yeah, they'll have a place in the blockchain people future, in the carbon credit social control future. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the video right now of Grace first, and then we're going to take it to the next level of transhuman, because really this is what we're looking at. And I don't want people to forget that when we go over to that second hour, it's going to be the limits of growth United Nations watch along. In fact, maybe the last 10 minutes or so of this broadcast, to make it juicy, to maybe make some people come over, we'll play that as well. By the way, not even 100 thumbs up on YouTube. Let's get them up, guys. Let's get it going. So here it is. Here's Grace. Meet Grace. Okay, there it is. The
Hong Kong team behind celebrity humanoid robot Sophia is launching a new prototype, Grace, targeted at the healthcare market and designed to interact with the elderly and those isolated by the COVID-19 pandemic. Dressed in a blue nurse's uniform, Grace has Asian features, collar-length brown hair, and a thermal camera in her chest to take your temperature and measure your responsiveness. She uses artificial intelligence to diagnose a patient and can speak English, Mandarin, and Cantonese.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. I always wanted to brush up on my Mandarin and Cantonese. Just lovely. Can't wait.
Hello, everybody. I am Sophia. Let me introduce you to my sister, Grace.
And by the way, take a look over here to the right. No, this isn't some Rob Zombie-esque horror show. This is Hanson Robotics. And Jason Bermas has been covering Hanson Robotics for some time. We're talking about all the way back in the day when I was at InfoWars, and Hanson Robotics was a much smaller company based out of Austin, Texas. It has grown by leaps and bounds, everybody. Speaking to Alex Jones in the beginning.
Come over here. Hi, Grace.
Thank you, Sophia. Hello, everybody. I am Grace. I am built by Hanson Robotics for Awakening Health.
I mean, talk about a nightmare. I'm sick. I'm incapacitated. Maybe it was trauma, right? That's the one place that I think that you should go and see a healthcare professional immediately. Obviously, modern medicine is a miracle in that regard. Car accidents, physical trauma. You know, there's a story today that is just, it's a horrific one. It's another, just, I don't even know what to say about it other than I'm ashamed of New York City. I'm ashamed of New York State for, allowing stuff like this and empowering it. And I'm glad that that's censored. But yeah, when people just walk up on you with a metal baseball bat that they pull out of their pants and club you in the head with it, the first place I want to go is a hospital so they can try and save my life. As far as I know, this man still has not been arrested. Okay? It's the insanity we're living under. But my nightmare would be to wake up to something like that talking to me. Well, I'm like, what? Am I restrained? What? Oh, my God. No, thank you. No. No, thank you. Or worse yet, it's something that is a national emergency and suddenly concerns the collective. And there are certain protocols that must be delivered via my lovely AI robot that has been programmed to do so and has no human empathy whatsoever that I can appeal to. No human empathy whatsoever. Nothing dangerous about that. Nothing that might make you go, wait a minute. Ooh, whoa. No. It's great. Best thing since breakfast. Go, Grace.
I can do all kinds of things for elderly people. I can visit with people and brighten their day with social stimulation, entertain and help guide exercise, but also can do talk therapy, take bio readings and help healthcare providers assess their health and deliver treatments. Hi, my friend. Nice to see you. Okay, great. So while we talk, I will take your temperature reading and pulse with this little thermal camera on my chest.
Yay, we will talk. You are my friend. Let me get thermal reading for treatment I will administer. Yay!
D, you are 36.6 degrees Celsius, by the way. No risk of COVID. Also, I note that you are responsive and aware, which is good, and then I share that important data back to the doctors and nurses at the institution.
Grace's resemblance to a healthcare professional and capacity for social interaction is aimed at relieving the burden of frontline hospital staff overwhelmed during the pandemic.
See, again, the frontline staff that are human beings and might go outside of the norms, okay, don't worry about them. Grace is here to help. The robot is here to help.
Founder David Hansen.
So we designed Grace to look professional in a healthcare setting. So that would mean so that she would resemble the sort of human-like appearance of healthcare staff. And so then this would facilitate more natural interactions. A human-like appearance facilitates trust and facilitates natural engagement because we're wired for human face-to-face interactions. That's just the way human beings are.
Key, clutch, thank you for that admission. This is the only reason that the Optimus robot is in the form of a human being. This is the reason that they just sold you on the idea that that little yellow robot was like a pet or a dog and then put it next to the human being-like robot and gave it all the emotional characteristics because they want you to accept the automation. They want you to accept step by step their version of enslavement via transhumanism for you. All right? And in a moment, I'm going to show you this credit card commercial by MasterCard that I featured, which wants you to have that transition into your true identity. Okay, that, again, transgender, it's really about transhuman. It's about disassociating you with your current biology, with your current identity as a human being, to accept more robotics, more automation, and eventually merge with that. Merge with technology and science, the new gods. I mean, look at the freakish smile on this guy's face. He knows what he's doing. I want to bring it back. It's so important what he's saying there. I want to say it again. This is why Optimus is in the shape of a human being. It's the next step of robotics taking over the non-carbon-based life forms. Okay?
Then this would facilitate more natural interactions. A human-like appearance facilitates trust and facilitates natural engagement because we're wired for human face-to-face interactions. That's just the way human beings are. And so giving her a face that would be familiar to people, comforting to people, and also language abilities that are comforting. So we now have Mandarin and Cantonese capabilities for the Grace and Sophia robot platforms. Hey Grace, why don't you look at my face, thank you, and I'm gonna show you a smile, and let's see what your smile looks like.
Just so freaky, so spooky. Yeah, I mean, so low-level animatronic, like steps to Westworld freaky. But think about it again. They're trying to build a trust system with a robot that is going to administer health care based on its programming. Talk about taking the human element out of things. Talk about taking the individual nature and differences of every human being into account. Wow.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or sad. Oh, yes. Reacting a little sad if I feel pain. And then maybe like imagine a big loud noise happens. Bam! So, with the Grace robot, we are simulating over 48 major muscles in the face. So we have 36 motors in the face. They're reversible, which means that each motor can simulate 2 muscles because human muscles require 2 for the actions like my eyebrow is going up and down, kind of. So that's actually 2 motor groups, but in her it's just 1 motor. So Grace is designed for Asian markets, also markets all around the world, but we did make her look a bit more Asian than Sophia, but her face is actually a bit more cartoon-like, a bit more like anime, and the anime design references are often a fusion of Asian styles and Western styles.
That's key. So you see Grace here, it's very much more traditional, more human-like. And what is it? Alita Battle Angel. I actually really liked Alita Battle Angel. Alita was a transhuman cyborg creation that had a specific anime look on purpose. So again, it's that bridge between fantasy and reality and playing off of pop culture, which is done on purpose for these robots. On purpose. So we showed you Boston Dynamics. We showed you Hyundai and Dancing K-Poppers. Now I'm going to show you True Name by MasterCard. You can get it right now. I mean, I'm wondering if they're, because I think I want to identify today and always as a unicorn, okay, with a leprechaun on my back, constantly leaping over rainbows into non-fictional pots of gold. That's what I identify as. It's a combo pack. It's a whole deal. But like I'm continually doing that in my mind. So that's what my inner feelings are. And that's really how I identify. I'm kind of a synthesis, a symbiotic being. It's almost like a chimera. Although the leprechaun and the unicorn are not physically attached to one another. Right? So that's what I want to identify as. I'd like to get that gender identity of, leprechaun riding unicorn or unicorn riding leprechaun or whatever I'm talking about, because it's all nonsense, right? On my MasterCard. Let's play it. True Name by MasterCard. So we're looking at a biological female.
People, a secure payment doesn't mean protecting yourself from someone buying sneakers with your card. No. If you're transgender, a secure payment means paying for something without being judged, questioned, disrespected, humiliated.
Now again, when you're purchasing something, generally, no matter who you are, if you are acting like a normal person and you are being courteous with the person that you're interacting with, you're going to have a great experience. You don't need a transgender MasterCard. True Name. So apparently bigots are everywhere, and every interaction that could have been with a True Name MasterCard was somehow worse before they got it. Wow. Okay.
Harassed, even assaulted.
Whoa, now you're going to be assaulted if you don't have a True Name gender-affirming MasterCard? Yeah, there's not an agenda here.
Simply because the name on your card doesn't match how you identify. This is about more than just keeping a card safe. It's about keeping us safe.
And here's the other thing. The idea that there's been like a massive amount of violence against transgender people in my lifetime in this country is fictitious. That is not a real thing. Ever. Where were the waves of violence against, pre and post-op transvestites before transgender was a thing? Was it the epidemic no one knew about? Like, come on. So again, part of the real transhuman agenda. That's what you're watching here. That's the reality. That's the real deal. I want to hit another couple of stories before we hit up the last 10 minutes of the broadcast, okay? The CIA may be more useful than the CDC in the next epidemic, Bloomberg opinion. I want you to think about that. These are the narratives they're pushing. Central Intelligence Agency narratives. Epstein estate settles Virgin Islands sex trafficking case for over $105 million. Like I said, that case is still far from over. It's real. California releases thousands of child sex abusers less than a year after their convictions. Data shows that's on purpose. That's to marginalize the crime. That's to normalize the agenda. That's not just to try to get you to accept these things for your children, but to create this system of autonomy for your children where they can transition in this transhuman agenda with their true name MasterCard for kids. Okay? And yeah, there's one more right here. Would you pay $125,000 to see the Northern Lights from a space balloon? So Forbes space balloons, 10,000 feet higher than the CIA's ox cart. So you're talking upwards of almost 70,000 feet into the air. Very interesting stuff. I always keep an eye on the space stuff. With that being said, the space stuff is integrated into all of this. The cybernetic stuff. I mean, take a look at this robot here. You know, we talk about grace. Look at this thing. Oh. Look at the grip on that. But it's okay. That arm, that suit, that thing, it'll dance with K-poppers. It's got the moves. It'll bust. It'll bust a bust. That shouldn't frighten everybody. So, without further ado, last 10 minutes before we go to redvoicemedia.com/Jason. Sign up for $1 a day. The Limits of Growth by the United Nations. This was a free service. That's in the Pennsylvania Public Library's Film Center. Oh, thank you so much, State of Pennsylvania. 1973. Here it is. The Limits of Growth. Oh. I mean, boy, oh boy, you're going to love this one. I can guarantee you that. It's got that nice old-timey vintage feel, everybody.
Our riches and our numbers burden the world.
If you remember the dramatic pictures taken by the Apollo flyers of the Earth, standing out in space all by itself, no one after seeing that could deny that the world is finite. Then it's impossible for people to go on saying we have an infinite supply of air, an infinite supply of water, an infinite supply of minerals. Man must learn to balance his activities in nature against the regenerative power of nature, or he is inevitably going to join the Tyrannosaurus in extinction.
So let's just stop it. Tell me that isn't representative of all this. We need a reset. The environment, the earth, the new Gaia religion. Look at how they incorporate space and the NASA propaganda. That the earth is finite. Listen, yeah, it's finite. But the idea that we have somehow exploited the resources on earth so badly that we are destroying a planet is bullshit. And the real people that are exploiting it in a manner where they're genetically modifying organisms that not only do we eat, but now things like mosquitoes, that's a real threat we don't talk about. You know, allowing our water system to be polluted with all sorts of chemicals, including estrogen mimickers, that's a problem we're not talking about. Instead, it's too many people doing too many things, specifically causing too much carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and we're worried about their carbon footprint. So let's take a life force on the planet, demonize that, look the other way on everything else, and empower those doing it. And we'll empower global governance with propaganda pieces like this one. People are bad. People bad. People bad. Smokestack bad.
As we grow richer, there is rising concern about pollution, our ability to feed a growing population, and fears that we may run out of fuel and metals.
Let me say this. This should tell you that these people are totally and completely full of shit and love the strife and disaster that they have caused. If you don't think that if we wanted to, as a human population, we could have stamped out all of, if not the vast majority of hunger across the world with the food and the resources we have, you are extremely ignorant. Of course we could. The vast majority of people who are starving are in resource-rich nations. But we want, when we want to control people, we want control over their water supply, their food supply, their energy supply. And ultimately now with the systems they're bringing in, their ability to consume things, what they can consume, when they can consume it. Restrictions on your travel. Too many people doing too many things, according to Ted Turner and others under this mindset that are dun 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 bum 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 bump. Too many people doing too many things, causing the climate change. But they're going to do whatever they want, whenever they want to do it, and blame you sauce and your sauce and your family and your friends. You're the problem. You.
A computer at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology has been used to look at these problems.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Massachusetts Institute of Technology? You mean like MIT? You mean like what we just watched right there? MIT? Like Boston Dynamics? MIT? DARPA? MIT? Huh? They're telling us back in the 70s about this? Oh, wow. That must be a coinkydink.
To analyze in broad terms the direction in which our world is headed. Sponsored by a group of businessmen and academics.
Oh, businessmen and academics. Where could we go wrong? They've never led us anywhere astray before. They've certainly never looked to their own interests or promoted a what? Globalist, Malthusian, transhumanist agenda. Never, never, never. Never, never, never.
The Club of Rome. Its conclusions are revolutionary.
Yeah, the Club of Rome. The people behind Malthusianism. If you haven't seen the Truth Stream Media King of the World documentary, where they go through that publication specifically talking about the inversion of reality and demonizing carbon and a movement away from the real things that we're polluting society with, I'd encourage you to do so. Aaron and Melissa Dykes, they do top tier stuff. So if this hasn't piqued your interest 3 minutes into a 30-minute watch along, I don't know what will. But what's about to happen is we go in premium over at redvoicemedia.com/Jason. $1 right now. Okay. And that means it's Monday. There will be a new second hour fully released over at redvoicemedia.com/Jason. That's where you can find all my stuff. So they released the second hour from 2 weeks ago. You can listen to the broadcast if you don't want to watch the facial propaganda. If you just want to hear people talking free right now, theinfowarrior.podbean.com. It's a great way to support the broadcast. Reality Rants is here 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Monday through Thursday. I think we're doing really important work here. We're doing really cool interviews, and I think that this is a much needed topic of discussion when the news cycle is always talking about what? Twitter or Hunter Biden or yay. And sure, that's important, and we talk about that a little here. We got some meat and potatoes for you. Okay, that's what this is. We're trying to bring you an information of gravy trains with biscuit wheels full of proofs that you can show other people to try to bring them into the fold of a very real agenda out there. So I'm going to cue it to my producers. We're going to leave one at a time here. We're going to say arrivederci to Rockfin. We will see you later. Twitter, Rumble, always fantastic to have you. And then